everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of Between the Horns with Paul Preece. Today we have a special guest, Seth Lueker.
Hey, everybody.
How's it doing, brother?
Doing well yourself?
Man, awesome. It's been a minute.
Thanks for having me here, brother.
Absolutely. I'm glad you could make it out. So, good drink, good friends. We're only missing two things.
Two things for sure.
What do you think? Let's fix that?
Yeah, you want to?
Let's do it.
All right, give him a call.
So, Seth, while I'm getting these two things that's missing up, what have you been into lately?
Good question.
I guess start first, what have you done since the show's ended?
Not much. Went on a slow walk, real long slow walk, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah?
Hiked part of the AT, just shy of 750 miles. So.
Wow, how long did it take to do that?
A little over three months.
Oh, wow. Good deal. Was you by yourself or?
No, my wife accompanied me. We ended up taking a couple stops here and there, seeing some friends along the way. I think you know one of them personally.
I do. Man, it's great seeing you guys. My little girls loved it. So when you all left, they woke up the next day, you were gone, they freaked out. Like they ran straight to your room looking for you, you was gone, they was heartbroken. So when, they were so tickled to see you guys come back today, and it was good to see. She didn't even want to go to bed last night because she was afraid she'd wake up again and you ought to be gone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We can't do that again.
Right. No. So anyways. All right. So the things that we're missing, guys, is Angie and Nick.
Yeah.
So I think let's give them a call and see if we can get them on the horn to join us here. I hope she answers.
Hello.
No.
Hello, Angie.
Hey, Paul.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're shooting a podcast, and I've got a special guy sitting here beside me, cute as could be. I think you know who he is.
Mickey Mouse.
Huh? Yes, you got it right. Seth, how the hell have you been, Angie?
Yeah, what's going on?
So what have you been into, Angie? What's going on today?
Nothing much. Just watching TikTok, going to Walmart. The usual.
Living life. Hey, so we said we're missing two things. One of those are obviously you, and the next is Nick. So we're going to try to get Nick on the phone. So if you give me just a second to get him on, we'll have all of BearTooth here, and we'll kick us off.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can add him in here. All right.
How long has it been since all four of us have been in one place together?
Angie, can you hear us?
Yeah, definitely.
How long has it been since we all four been together?
Too long.
That's the right answer for sure.
Pushing what, a year and a half now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to put us all four together right now. I'm going to give Nick a call and see if we can get him to answer.
Sweet.
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
My man, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Paul Preece. How are you doing?
Good, buddy. Good. We're shooting an episode of Between the Horns, and man, you wouldn't believe what I've got sitting beside me right now.
Oh, who you got?
Come on, say something.
Something.
Hey,
That's all I need to hear.
hold up. It's about ready to get a little better. Hold on. Just hold on 1 second. You ready? Hello.
Which one is this, man? I can barely hear you.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Beartooth.
BearTooth, baby. Oh man, so
Hey, how you doing, Angie?
good. So first off, thank all of you all for coming on, and I'd love to have you out here. I mean, it was great getting Seth here. It'd be awesome to have you here. I know you guys got a lot going on, and we'll touch on that. So big things happening tonight.
oh yeah.
3 a.m. It's going to drop.
Oh, my
If I
goodness.
was to be awake, man, I've been wired for 2 days. I don't know about you guys, but like I haven't slept in 2 days.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even touch my bourbon chicken.
You can't even go over the crowd. You got problems.
Oh,
what's y'all's plans? Where y'all watching it?
In my living room alone.
What?
What?
No, you ain't watching. Okay, so well, all right. Listen, for tonight, yeah, alone. But tomorrow, my family has flown in from New York, and they've requested that it's just with them for day one. Then day two, I gotta watch Party. Now, I would have come up there with you guys, but I had no idea this was gonna come out then, because you know how they kind of sprung it on us.
Yeah.
So I was traveling to Washington to try to climb Mount Adams,
Nice.
Oh,
it's
cool.
my spring break, so for high school, so I only get one shot at it, so I planned it, and then when I found out about this, I was like, damn.
Man, you're my hero. Like, you never stop.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Seth came straight out, done the Appalachian Trail. You went to was it Rainier already? Did you hit already?
Yeah, so I did Hood and then Rainier, and then I did Mount Shasta in October of this year, and I have 3 more planned, man. I've got one with my son planned over the summer when I come back from Japan. I somehow lied my way into becoming the city of Clearwater representative for Japan again.
Man, good for you. Congratulations, brother.
They messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you you don't take the opportunity, then nothing happens.
And then
Right.
Angie did some pretty big things too. Like right after Alaska, what you do, Angie?
I stayed in Alaska, dude. I did not want to leave.
So,
I went to the Aleutian Islands, and then I stayed past Skagway, and I was actually taking guests out and taking them to the Davidson Glacier, and living it was crazy. When I went to Skagway, I actually stayed at Glacier Point, and it was in the Tongass Rainforest, and dude, I'm not lying. As soon as I got off the boat, because it was an hour-plus ride just to get to GP, and the moment I went out there, I saw one of my buddies that I met in Alaska, Steve, and I cried. And I was like, Steve, this is just like the show, like the Sitka Spruce Trees and the Devil's Club. I cried.
Oh man, but you were out there
and
actually.
I got a squirrel.
You got a
nice.
squirrel. There you
Chitters
go.
down. Chitters down.
So you actually saw it during full on winter. How much different was it from full on winter from when we were out there?
The what? I'm sorry?
What was that?
How
I can hear you. What'd you say?
Yeah, so Seth asked Angie, because she got to stay, she done what the rest of us would love to have done and not have left Alaska. I think we all want to get back to that. We love
absolutely.
it. It kind of does something to you. It's a mental cleanse, it's a physical cleanse. There's not another place like it in the world. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah.
No way, man. I can't even believe that it's part of the United States.
It's unreal. You're right.
I'm telling you, I've been all over the world, and there's no place quite like Alaska.
It's definitely its own
I miss
entity.
it every day.
Yeah.
Every single day, I'm like, what am I doing in Texas? I need to go back to Alaska. I miss it so much.
Yeah, it's to the point. I'm the same way. To the point that I've tried to talk Shonda into moving there, and she's like, "No, it's too cold." But I look and dream.
Even during the summer, when I was there during the summer, huge difference, because first off, it's daylight constant. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's light blue outside. You see the sun go up the mountain and then sideways and then just a little bit below the caps, and it stays there. And it's nice though, but the mosquitoes and flies are real. When I was fishing up there.
What were the Aleutian Islands like?
Oh yeah.
So that was fun. So I was actually working at a fish processing plant, and I was working in the clinic, and I never really saw daylight too much, but the storms there were absolutely insane. I was waiting for Chinese food because it was the only restaurant that was there, and I was in 80-mile-an-hour winds, and it was like nothing to them. They were driving around, and
How much?
it was crazy, but I absolutely loved it. It was very quiet, very peaceful. There were otters, seals just hanging around, and I would go out and walk to the beach and just do my thing. It was really amazing.
Did you feel like isolated, or did you feel like at peace? Because you can kind of go both ways.
I never felt isolated anywhere in Alaska.
So-
anywhere that I went. It was just very peaceful. Everybody that's there is there for basically the same reasons that you are, to get away, to experience life and really find yourself, and I absolutely loved it. Yeah.
So-
when I was in GP, a lot of the people were younger, 18, 19, 20, and I got to show them a lot of skills. I got to teach them how to clean and gut a fish, how to skin a squirrel, how to shoot things. It was really fun.
So just by hearing that, I mean, we know how badass you are, but just to put emphasis on that, what Angie done, was she stayed there. She worked at this plant while she was building up funds to become an EMT.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
she's doing that now. So
Currently.
that's as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that, Angie. It's
Complete badass.
for sure. For
Thank
sure.
you. I love my job. That's actually the reason I couldn't come up to Tennessee to be with you guys today. But I absolutely love my job. I work tomorrow, night shift. But it's absolutely insane the things that you get to see and how to help people. It's amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry, Seth, go ahead.
With working on the premiere time, is it going to be hard for you to watch the show too? Are you going to binge it first and then go to work, or how's that going to play out?
I work overnight, so I mean, I'm usually up from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So it's airing at 2 a.m. my time, so it's nothing to me. I'm binging it all.
You'll be up anyway. You're kind of be
Nice.
up anyway, yeah.
All right, cool.
And then I have my meeting, and then I go into work.
Wow. So
Yeah.
so I'm very appreciative of you. Very appreciative of you guys calling tonight, and we love you all.
Oh yeah.
Family, of course. But I think we're ready to dig into this. We've got some. It's just off the cuff, guys. We'll be relaxed. Let's just find out about Bear Camp, about Beartooth, and about how Beartooth operated prior to Paul and then post Paul, and then we're just walking on through. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I guess, your first impression, so obviously we've not seen the show yet. It comes out tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Looking forward to that. So our very first thing, we're staring at a circle full of strangers, and they're like, all right, pick your team. So, what's your thought at this? What's your initial thought? Or you froze? Had you been eyeballing people and just, you look at Seth, you're like, yeah, I want Seth on it. He's a mountain man, right? You can just look at him and tell he has that look of Viking or something. How did you all approach choosing whom for your team?
I'll tell you right now, I didn't know nobody.
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody until during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so was it a blind grab? Did you guys just like you were standing close to each other, or how'd that happen?
So basically, we kind of got put on. Yeah, we got put on teams for, like, basically to come out, and you get put around this circle, and they're like, hey, free for all, pick whoever you want. And by that time,
This is the way I remember it. It's the same way, right? They were going to do an initial gear drop, and they would kept us sequestered and away from each other so that nobody could get to know each other beforehand. So the day came for us, drop date, and they're like, all right, we're going to film the first gear drop. We just want you guys, you four go over there, you four go over here, and that's how it was. And it wasn't really planned. We just happened to be standing near each other, like, you guys go in the woods and then you'll come out together.
Yeah. So.
And then we'll figure out teams. So we're like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember.
So
I'm gonna feed off of that real quick and say that's where we got our team name. We were all filming that entrance to kind of go out there and see the gear drop, and I remember looking down to my right at this big green thing, and I was like, is that made out of lettuce? Like, that's really weird. And then so I walk over there, and I think it was Seth that was with me.
Yeah.
And we go to it, and it's a skull. And I was like, what is this? And we're like, I think Seth or somebody else said it was a bear skull, and then the tooth came out.
yeah,
And I was looking at
it
it.
came out
Wow.
of the hand.
So.
And then we picked it up for good luck, but I didn't say that.
Yeah.
So did that kind of set the tone? That's as real as it gets. You look down and you see this skull of a brown bear, and right off, and you got your name, got the camp name from it. But did that kind of set the tone? Did that put anything into realization that, hey, this is real?
Yeah. Not only was it just a bear skull, but it was a previous kill. Like it was a brown bear killed another brown bear at one point in time, and that was its carcass that was just there.
Yeah. So on the average, they would have 10-footers. There were stories of 10-footers killing 8-footers and burying them and come back and eating them later.
Yeah.
So that really.
Well, later on we found out from exploring that there was other bears buried within a proximity of our camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me,
there were bear skulls. We were stepping literally over a bear skull, and that's kind of where the Beartooth moniker came from, right? We all kind of
right, grab that.
Beartooth for good luck, and put it in our pockets, and that was awesome.
You know what?
That's where it came from.
I really think you've probably done something that none of the other teams did. Like so for me, by the time this comes out, everyone would have seen the show. So we can go ahead and talk about some of this. For my first team, I didn't finish on the team that I started with. Obviously, I finished with BearTooth.
And how did that make your teammates feel at that time?
Yeah, so not very good. Right? I wasn't perceived very well on that, but we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, no, but you know what, like, dude, okay, so like going into all that, man, it was like you could, as a team, you could choose to destroy yourself, and we got the best part of that deal ever.
I think you guys really so.
I don't care what they did, you know, on their team.
Yeah.
You saw the way, like, you'll see the way Paul is with us versus how it was with them, and it's like nothing was different with Paul. It was the team.
Yeah, Paul came over, big old grin on his face.
Nah, so happy.
Big old grin.
But before that, I mean, if we're just looking at, you know, you had Andrea started with you guys, and Andrea got a bug in the water, I believe, and had to go. I mean, you guys look like a really strong team right off the bat. So our four, literally everyone had grad four, and we felt like the nerdy kid in kickball. We were just standing against the fence waiting for somebody to pick us. And there's four left, and that was us. So that's what we started with, and you know. I think you guys setting a name right off. So we were still lettered A, B, C, and D camps, and you guys removed that, and you put BearTooth. So you gave yourself a name and an identity, and I think that is bigger than you think.
I think, it all definitely established us as not just a team, but a family.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the other teams actually called themselves anything other than their moniker.
Well, we did. We were the outcast.
Oh, the outcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no one picked us, so we were the outcast. And I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, the first week or two, it was great. It really had that family setting coming in, but you're really coming into your own, and you're trying to figure people out and see who they are, and you kind of gravitate more towards certain people than others for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, you're figuring each other out, and the longer you go, you know, you're getting hungry. There's stress put on everyone. You're trying to get things done. It's raining 7 straight days in a row and night, so there's a lot of stress there, anyways.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying anyone on my first team was bad. I think they're all great people. They're all great people. I just think you had different personalities in a class, which is great for the show. It's what they want, right? Yeah. You know, we all got along great, and that's great also. But, you know, seeing these different personalities work inside of a common cell, a common nucleus, and try to make things work together, it's sometimes impossible to happen.
Yeah.
You know, to make that work out. And you start to see micro fractures happen throughout this.
Yeah.
The longer you go, the more stressful it gets. You know, you start going into day 7 and you haven't really eaten anything, and you're cold and you're wet. The least little thing will trigger you. And I think there was me and one other contestant, you'll see when the show comes out. We started having a little bit of friction back and forth and some misunderstandings, and then it just kind of, we never got over that. So, and I'm not blaming, we're not.
I hear you. Look, I yelled at Angie, and I've never felt so bad. I still to this day feel bad about it. Angie, I love you. You know what I do. And I'm like, I have nonstop.
So
from the show is that, because I was fucking starving. Sorry, I fucking.
No, you're fine. Hey, I got to tell you.
And I just was like, I was trying to get okay, I'm a coach, so I'm used to like yelling to motivate, and it wasn't really a good time to yell.
Yeah.
It was, and it wasn't, I didn't really have a good speech plan, and it was like, I was doing at the time, in my head, it sounded better than it came out. It was like in my head, like a, hey, what, we don't ever say die, we do things to win, and it came out like me yelling, and it was just like, I'm sorry, Angie, so
Well,
I know what you mean, Paul.
I got it.
No, I didn't take that personally at all. Like, I knew where you were coming from. It upset me at the moment, but we did what we did, and in the end, it turned out great. That event, and
It paid off.
you know, it was over with. And even to this day, I talked to my partner about it, and I'm like, he was hilarious.
I got to tell you.
Looking back now, for sure.
I got to tell you that, you know, at that time I was on the other team, and when that happened, we were so happy. Yeah. So we seen what we felt was a breakdown in teams. So we seen a kink in your chain. We seen a weakness coming on, and we're like, this is great. You know, if this happens all over the place, because we felt really strong, and we were throwing out that family vibe, and when we were doing our interviews, we were talking about the whole family situation. But sometimes, you know, family's dysfunctional, and I think we fell into that. Love for all those people. You know, Jordan, love him to death. we had a pretty good, probably a stronger relationship than I had with anybody else on the team. But they're all great people, and I wish them the best, and can't wait to talk to them again. It just didn't work out. But yeah, when we seen that happen and we heard that, because it was loud.
Yeah.
So you had Angie.
And it's right there on the riverbank, so probably the other teams heard it as well.
Dude, you had Florida Man, and you had. Yeah, it was so loud. We was like, "This is over. This is over." So we were pretty happy to see that. But you're right. I think you all were able to move past that, and it kind of built a stronger bond. That was probably the only hump you all had.
Yeah,
your attitude, I think that's I think all of our strengths were we can check. Seth he has a real tough way about him, but he's right. So much. So you got to when Seth would be like, Nick, shut up. I'd be like, all right. He does.
But
instead of being like, you know what, you shut up. Something like that.
No.
Then we could have broke down. But
Yeah.
I think the communication is definitely a really, really big thing, and that's one thing that I stressed in the beginning. A lot of interviews, I was like, you have to know how to communicate. And I know there was one point in the beginning of the show where, there were some times that I felt that I wasn't included in a conversation, and I talked to you guys about it, and I was like, hey, sometimes it feels like you're making decisions to talk without me, and it was immediately dealt with. Bring it up, talk about it, and get past it, work on it. And we did that.
It was good that you guys can do that. I think with Don and I, we had some friction there, and I think our problem with that is I'd hear some communication going on or things being said, and I wasn't part of it, and I kind of felt a certain way about it. Yeah. And it could have been that she didn't mean anything by it at all. It is absolutely that possibility, but I didn't take it that way. Yeah. So, I think that kind of set the tone different for us, and we're kind of these A-type personalities.
Oh, everybody there's basically an alpha type.
You have to be alpha type.
And I could see where it would, you would definitely butt heads early on while you're feeling everybody out. Yeah. But something different with the team is everybody kind of put that ego to the back seat. We're like, you know what? We're out here for a common goal. We're going to get that common goal together. And that's, I believe, what separated BearTooth from everybody else.
Dude, the other thing that we did as a team that I'm 100% sure that, I don't know if it's going to make it in the show, but it was really funny with that. Dude, we would tell each other bedtime stories every night, right?
Oh yeah.
No, hey.
So we were talking about that.
Yeah.
We were talking about that today, Nick.
That was mad teammate style. I doubt that was happening in the other team.
So Nick, I got to.
I was over those bedtime stories, but I loved them at the same time, and I was like, I don't know.
Oh, Angie. So we were talking today, and of all the stressful stuff we had on the show, I'll admit the maddest I got, I don't want to say the maddest, the most upset I got, Nick, was the night that you were in your fields and you wouldn't tell us the next chapter of the story.
Yeah.
I was so mad at you, man.
Dude, I fucked up the camp. I remember.
I was so mad.
We were all mad and we were pestering you. And you're like, guys, I'm just going to bed. Good night.
So I really thought, okay, if we keep it up, Nick will he'll give in, and he started snoring, and I was pissed.
Mad.
I was so mad. I was like, it ain't happening. So, yeah.
Sorry about that. I remember that night. I was just so tired. I couldn't even think. And dude, I know it came out the next day in the interviews. They were like, "Look, man, we didn't get a bedtime story last night. We're not very happy."
So just in case this doesn't show.
Do you guys remember that night that Paul woke up and his boot was full of water?
Oh,
my
man.
goodness. Well, we knew my boot didn't leak.
And they wouldn't dry out. They couldn't. His boots took days to dry out. It was so wet.
So kind of to go back a little bit and set up what Nick was talking about. So Nick has this uncanny ability to remember everything he's ever read.
Yeah.
And
kind of like a savant or something.
Yeah, like this guy's so impressive. So every night, Nick would tell us a story that he had read chapter by chapter. So we would go through a book over a matter of a few nights or a week.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I had read some of these books, I've read some afterwards that you had told, and literally, besides a few words, he was freaking spot on through the whole thing, and that was our entertainment. So impressive.
I gotta that eventually someone's listening, and I'm proud of you guys because my students don't listen.
So guys, if you don't know, Nick's a school teacher, and he's also how many time coach of the year, wrestling coach?
3-time coach of the year, 2-time in Alaskan County, 1-time Pasco County coach of the year.
Wow.
So do you have to have support on your arms when you walk around with all that bling on your fingers from all these coach of the year words?
Listen, hey man, I need a state championship ring. Coach of the year is flattering, and I got 2 big rings. very proud to have.
Well,
If I get a state championship ring, it's over, baby.
yeah. Well,
We'll never hear the end of it.
Right. So
Real diamonds, baby. Real diamonds.
so good deal. So you guys kind of had that. You know, you kind of had a bond set up. You'd hit that little hurdle with Nick and Angie. You know, and we all felt that was something you may not get over. And I think because we were feeling some of that on our side, we were feeling the pressure, but it hadn't broke loose yet.
Mm-hmm.
There was some small stuff, some bantering going back and forth, and some feelings being had. But when we seen that, we thought, okay, so this is pretty normal, and that's a little more. So after you got back to camp, and if I'm not mistaken, that happened during the raft building.
That did, yeah.
Yeah. But it was done and over that day, right? I mean, you got back to camp, you squashed it.
No, it was done before we got back to camp.
Oh, good.
No.
Good for you.
Angie.
The scene in the trailer of me and Seth like cheering, and that was for Angie.
Yeah, Angie, as soon as you got off the shore on the raft, Nick was like, man, I was a little hard. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm going to apologize to her. And it was squashed like before it even started.
So I got to ask, but I got to ask because I wasn't out there so we built these rafts at a raft con. We felt really good about our raft. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was cute.
That was right. It was a great raft, man. It was a great raft. So
Very seaworthy, apparently.
I didn't get to see all of it, but you know, this is some hardcore stuff. This is some fast-moving river that the tide's going out, and you got these homemade rafts on a few little inner tubes.
Yeah, with some bicycle inner tubes.
Yeah.
You Ryan kidding with those tides. It is dangerous. I don't give a shit what like people think or they say. That was dangerous.
Dude, I swam in them, and it was rough. Like,
So it's super dangerous. So I can only assume one of you guys done the rafting to the crab traps.
yeah, Angie. Angie's
Wait,
little bit.
not a dude? It was
No,
Angie?
no,
That's
Angie-
right, because Angie's the
Angie
toughest
took
one.
the mantle over,
There
and she
you
won
go.
the challenge.
So Angie, tell us about that. She
was like the lightest one out of all of us. So our raft was, look, man, it wasn't the most seaworthy thing, but
Look, it was 4 sticks and an inner tube.
I can't remember if she like put her feet in the water, but like she was like on the edge of barely being able to control the thing because the thing about her is being so light and the raft being so heavy, it didn't float great, and that current was ripping.
Dude, it was sketchy towards the end.
I believe it.
One shot or you'll miss the island.
So Angie,
When I got on that raft, it was so sketchy, and I was like, all right, I need to go across, hit that current, write it down, and then try to hit the island. And right when I was curving towards the left, the current started taking me, and I was paddling hard, and I was like, dude, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna hit this island. This can't happen. And so I kept sticking the paddle that they made in the water to see how deep it was. And I was like, fuck it. I'm jumping out. I'm getting on this island. I'm hitting this crab trap, and I'm going to feed us. And it was like waist deep water. It was freezing, but I was able to get on the island. But it was so sketchy. It was pretty scary.
So, Angie, at any time were you like, fuck this raft, this thing's sketchy? Like, why did I agree to do this?
Say that again?
At any time were you like, this raft is too sketchy? Why did I agree to do this? Like, why did I get on it?
No.
No, you trusted it?
Dude, I was like, I know I can make it.
Okay.
That was in my head. I wasn't gonna let any bad thoughts come through because the moment that happens, you're losing to yourself. It's a losing battle.
Yeah.
So you have to stay positive the whole way. And I told you guys, I was like, I can do it. I know I can do it. I've been on the water. I know how to do it.
so how did you guys?
And that was right after my knee injury too.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
right after my knee.
So speaking of the knee injury, Angie. So possible meniscus tear or what happened?
It
to
was
the knee?
never confirmed, right, Angie?
Yeah, no, I'm still having issues with my knee. It was pretty bad. So we went looking for food, basically looking for deer to hunt, and I think I misstepped sometime, and it just started getting more and more painful. And then we started cutting down dead standing trees, so that way we could build more on our shelter and get firewood. And we started carrying the wood, and I was like, dude, it started to like hurt just to lift my leg over a branch. And then I leaned up against a tree to try and work out my knee and kind of bend it and make it move a little bit.
Mhm.
I could not lift my leg, and I was like, are you kidding? It was so painful, and I still have effects on it to today.
And what day in the competition was that, Angie?
Do what you got to do.
What day was that in the competition?
The what?
So how early in the competition did that happen?
Dude, it was like day 2, day 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a testament to how tough this girl is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one story that I missed. I love to be part of, and I'm glad I wasn't. But dude, I laugh every time I hear it. So the first 7 days, it's freezing. We have a 10 by 10 tarp, one wool blanket, and there's 4 people under that thing. It's raining nonstop. It's freezing.
Well, some people have 4 people.
Some people have 4 people. So I want to know about those first few nights when. So Nick, I hear that you were laying in the lap of someone.
Dude, listen. It was so cold.
Don't be bashful, Nick.
I spent a night socked in a snowstorm on the side of Mount Rainier, and it was nothing like that. It was freezing wet, and I tell you what, man, I didn't sleep well the whole time I was there. I probably slept an hour or 2 a night, and the rest of the time I just had my eyes closed. I would fall asleep, wake up, and then not be able to go back to sleep. And so that was like what was going on. The only time I would sleep would be like right around dawn, like when the sun started coming up until like the camera crews would get there to mic us up. And this night, our shelter wasn't like really anything yet. We were still.
It was a tarp.
Yeah. So wait. So.
Grass from the Andrea.
That was like we were down 2 people. Angie's knee blew out. So she was like getting looked at, and but not quitting. And then Andrea was gone, so it was just me, and it was really a low morale night.
So
man, I woke up and like my head was in the glass.
so.
And I was like, "Hey, sunshine."
So you're. So
we wouldn't let me live it down.
Never.
All right, so I'm going to fall asleep in my lap again.
So
It was funny, man.
So Nick, you wake up and you're staring into this big Viking beard, and he's looking deep.
Barely
into your
knows
eye.
me. Barely knows me.
So
No drinks involved, nothing.
no drinks involved. What a cheap date.
Overnight.
But Seth, how was that? You got this guy from Florida, and he's in Alaska, and you have to be already thinking that he's not acclimated yet. May never get that way. He's 25 years living in Florida. You have to have some concerns about this. He's a grown man laying in your lap shivering.
Oh.
So did you do anything to make sure he stayed with you? Or were you afraid he was going to bail at that point? What was going through your head?
Well, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about me. What was going through my head that night?
Yeah,
like
please.
that night was probably the only night I actually contemplated quitting.
Oh, you thought about it?
Yeah, I thought about quitting that night, but I'm looking at Nick. I know Nick wants to be there, and I'm like, man, like if I just quit right now, it'll be over. I can. It'll be warm, dry. Get some food. But at the same time, it's like if I fire that flare, it's gonna take the production like 2 hours to get there because they're not on site during the night.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's gonna take them 2 hours to get there. It's gonna be like at least an hour rigmarole, like filming and everything, and then 2 hours back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, by that time, it's probably gonna be morning. So I might as well just tough it out through the night, see what it's like tomorrow, and go from there. Cue back to Nick. I see Nick. He's not husky. Like I'm husky. I'm a husky dude. Like I'm built for the cold.
Nick's like 9% body fat.
Yeah, no, Nick, to give God like anybody like viewing or whatever, like a picture, he's ripped.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like
Yeah.
no body fat. He's muscular.
It's hard, bro. Like, I didn't have the extra weight. I tried to put it on, but I couldn't.
His layers aren't even like thick.
Yeah.
Like he did not have thick layers. He had some wool on. This was the only night I actually wore every layer I brought. And that shows you how cold it is because if you actually watch the show, I don't even wear a jacket unless it's like actually raining.
Dude, you only wore that parka the second night.
Yeah, that's it. And other than that, I slept on it, and that's it. So I just remember I asked you like 100 times, like, you good, bro? Like throughout the night. I'm like, you good, bro? Like I don't even think, honestly, Nick, I don't even think I had your name committed to memory yet.
No kid. So what was Nick's what was Nick's response to everything you
Nick
did,
would
bro?
just be there, like he'd just be like zoned out into the darkness at this time, like he's not in my lap yet, like we're not cuddling or anything.
Oh yeah, that comes later.
He's just zoned out into the darkness, like I'm good, bro. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And like from then on, like I knew Nick was literally not going anywhere.
Yeah. So
I was not gonna quit, bro. Because
Yeah.
look, man, if I quit, like, it's not that I didn't think again. Like, that was team bonding shit, and I was like, and I don't want to be the dude that sends this man back to the gym. You know what I mean? Because I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that this early in the game, nobody was going to take someone else, and they were because they would be like, all right, someone's quitting. We're a strong team. Like, I knew there was no chance.
Well, little do we know.
To get on another team.
Little did we know that night, 2 teams probably would have taken another player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know that at the time. So, like, my thinking was, I'm not sending this man back home empty-handed.
So at that point, you knew he was game.
Oh, yeah.
So your confidence was built. You knew that man's going to stay here. I'm staying here. So so you all kind of formed that. I'm playing for that guy.
On your shield.
Yeah. Okay.
We got busy because we spent, the way I remember it, we spent such a terrible night that Seth was like, he was fucking laser focused that we are building a real shelter. I got an idea, and dude, me and Seth and Angie got, because Angie came back, and we got like from the clear from the knee injury, she could walk, and we just went to work on the shelter like maniacs.
Well, and we'll come into that because, you know, we had Jordan had went to get water. I think he had to pass your all's camp because it's a pretty good hike to get past your camp. And he'd come back and he's like, guys, I've got some intel. These guys are living in a teepee. He called it. It was a lean-to, I think.
No, at that time he saw we had a wiki up over our fire. But there's no foliage to block the rain, so we had like this Devil's Club. If you know what Devil's Club is, it's a horrible plant it's kind of like it's like a cactus on steroids almost because you don't even know what to expect. It's like fiberglass basically gets under your skin and irritates the hell out of you.
We were all just
ate up.
It was bad.
The first couple of days just ate up. Didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But had that draped over it, and as soon as
you had Devil's Club draped over you.
Oh yeah, we were men.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the only thing that they would let us harvest out there as far as foliage.
So I went out to the edge of the water, and there's some pines there, and I was like ripping the limbs off, and they're like, oh, yo.
With your bare hands?
Oh, well, we had an axe, but our little hatchet.
You're a stud.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, when Jordan came back, and he's like, these guys aren't going to make it. They don't have fire burning. So we were burning fire. Is eating a lot of energy up. We were burning fire for 7 days straight, day and night. I stayed up a lot of the night. Everyone kind of tended that fire through the night. I think Jordan and I were up for the majority of it just because we couldn't sleep, you know. And I think that's where we kind of bonded a little bit was over the fires at night. Jordan was an absolute monster, you know.
No doubt about that. Jordan was definitely a stud.
Yeah, I mean, you had Joel on there. Joel was just a super articulate guy, really well-spoken, smart guy.
Very well-spoken.
Yeah, He is, you know, and then Dawn, man, what a life she's lived.
Yeah. You
know, and it's still going. So we had a really dynamic group there, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so that kind of leads up to, you know, so now, you know, this is what I'm hearing. You've got a jumble of a camp. There's really not much there, and then so the whole game starts to change at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So once our camp started to crumble a little bit, and I think mostly that'll come between Don and I, and then you know there's a moment that Jordan has just depleted himself. Yeah. This guy has just busted his ass through the whole show, and he didn't really weigh too much. And Jordan was much like Nick.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
We thought our only competition was actually going to be your camp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, we were down to 3 people. Don't get us wrong, but we thought we were like the strongest there because you don't really see anything going on across the creek, but you know what's going on, and we see y'all, and we're like. They're doing pretty good, but I think by that time we had our shelter established. Y'all didn't know anything about our shelter. The only thing y'all knew was we still had a tarp.
And we thought you were still under that stuff.
So we actually at one point went out and did a little head hunting, and we tried to get Jordan on our team. We saw how much of a stud Jordan was, and we're like, hey, we want this dude. Like we didn't want to sleep on you or nothing, but like Jordan was definitely a first round pick in our eyes.
Feelings has been hurt. I'm JV, baby. JV. So no, I get it, you know, and I think a lot of that is, you know, you and Jordan both your backgrounds align and that you're both Marines.
Yeah.
So you got a brotherhood there, and I respect that 100%. So yeah, I get that, you know, and Jordan and I talked a lot. When Jordan's incident happened, you know, it was up in the air if he was coming back or not. And I knew there that I didn't have a home anymore in that camp. Yeah. You know, Joel and Don had a really good relationship, and from what I understand, they probably still do. They meshed real well. And unfortunately, I didn't fit in. I didn't fit into that. So I was getting water. I seen you guys out, and we talked. I think at that time we'd finally found some hobo reels, and I was like, "Hey guys, this is how you do that."
Jordan beasted a challenge for those.
Jordan, yes, he did. He was so happy.
And then he scammed me. That little, oh man.
Did he really?
Yeah. So did you watch the whole challenge?
Dude, I was in there keeping the fire running like a little good housewife.
Yeah. So you didn't watch the challenge. Yeah.
No.
So what happened at this point? This is the second official challenge in the game. The first challenge, by the way, Angie won us some crab pots. So BearTooth actually ate like kings, while Paul's camp didn't. They starved a little bit. So.
We had like 3 gundies each.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
I couldn't even.
Y'all couldn't finish them.
Yeah, I couldn't even finish them all.
So,
Our stomach had shrunk so bad.
do you know that? So Nick, I think you all actually gave our camp some crab that you'd caught. You had some.
So listen, that wasn't totally altruistic. So this is what I thought.
That's a big word.
So we talked it over and we're like, listen, we got extra crab that none of us can eat. I'm gonna go offer their camp some crab because I know they lost the challenge. I know they're hurting for food, and what I'm gonna try to do is project so much strength so that they think to themselves like, fuck, this camp has like they're giving us food because they have so much extra. Like, oh shit, like we got no chance against that. And it was a big gamble, and I don't know if it worked.
No, I can.
You think that did it work? I don't know.
No, I can tell you. For one thing, I'm the only guy on the show that didn't get any crab. I was gone.
I know you were gone, right?
I come back and there's like holes laying there. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? And you know, but it did not. All we thought was that's a good group of people.
Okay.
We never once did that put any kind of fear into us that you were stronger than us, because we were still under the impression that you were struggling for shelter. We didn't know your situations. We knew that we thought your team was fractured because of the argument already.
Oh, yeah.
So we still thought we were the guys. We were the team to beat at that time.
And a little bit on that, our camp was the furthest away and tucked in the woods, so nobody could really even see it.
No, you were really out there.
That's our strength. I think our strength was that nobody didn't know like what was happening with us. We were so, like you guys said, we were so far away that like it could have been anything.
But
And that was the shit.
Meanwhile, we're like having karaoke night over fires.
oh yeah, we sang a little bit the first couple nights. It was
No,
horrible,
yeah.
but it happened.
So, there was no singing in our camp. I mean, look, it wasn't all bad guys. I mean, there's some good people, and there was friction. So once I lost, my buddy when he was gone, then it was time for me to go. I felt that, and it turned out to be right. Once I talked to you guys, I went and got the water, and there was room for me on your camp, and you invited me in, even though I was your third choice.
Hey, it's all right. Who was the second choice? Yeah,
Yeah,
Justin.
Justin
was the second choice.
We were all discussing who we wanted to try and get over, so we were talking about.
I was like an NFL draft.
Yeah.
People, and they had brought you up, and I was the one who was skeptical about you because I was like, he's an older gentleman.
Old. Older than dirt, foot in the grave.
Decrepit.
I was so worried that because you were, an older person, that me being a female on the team, I was going to be seen as a weak link, that I wasn't going to be treated equally. And I had expressed my concerns to, Seth and Nick.
We said no.
That's when we all agreed to talk to you and see how you are. And that's when I was like, he seems like a very nice guy.
I
love
And
your
that's when I brought
sweater.
up the fact that, not to cut you off, but like that's when I brought up the fact, like, listen, dude, I had very limited talking with this guy, but he's a Southern gentleman, and he's trustworthy and I talked to him right away because we talked about wrestling, and I'm like, I immediately had a bond with this guy because I understood what his son went through, I understood what it was like for him on the wrestling mat, those emotions. I'm like, if this dude is what I think he is, like, he's good, like, good.
I got, Nick, my son Dalton was, he wrestled all through high school and ranked in the state and just, that was his life. And I think that was a good connection for you and I. I know what it takes to do that. But, for me and for Angie, I got Olivia, she's 4-year-old now, and I've got Lila, Madison, Lexi. So I've got all my kids and they're my life. Yeah. And you'll see me get real emotional on the show, but every time I'm emotional, it's because my kids are mentioned. And so There's two other times that I got emotional on the show is when Jordan left, but in his letter he mentioned some things about we'd already talked about me coming to Beartooth.
Yeah.
So if he didn't come back, I told Jordan everything, and he says time to make your move, and he mentioned the kids, and that got me. And then Angie, when you left, because Angie, I miss my girls so bad, and I gravitated towards you like my daughter. Like when you were a safe place for me on that show, and I think maybe for all the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
You remind me of my sister, and like I've coached a lot of female wrestlers, and her attitude reminded me of my female wrestlers I coach. When you were gone, dude, it hurt our morale deeply.
Yeah.
And then we got pissed off.
Well,
Then I think what almost brought us back together and got our head out of the sadness of losing Angie was Jill's bitch ass. You know what? You lost Angie, now we're gonna fucking kill you.
Can we also can we caveat off this for a second?
Sure.
And just a testament to how badass Angie, you're a vet, right? Yeah. So Angie was in the Army. She's 100% badass.
Angie, what was under your left sleeve?
I had sharpened a stick, so that way I have something to stab with just in case I needed it.
Angie, who you stabbing?
No, man.
Who you stabbing? You ain't gonna stab a 10-foot brown bear.
That was a good idea.
So man, look. Anyways, I just and Angie, to be fair, and they probably won't show it on the show, but when you all had the argument, I think you had the bow on your back, and I seen you going down through, and I said, "Look at Katniss going down through there." So I called you Katniss because of the bow on your back. But anyway, so when I kind of separated from our team, Jordan wasn't coming back. I didn't feel like I had a place there anymore. Joel was trying to fix everything, and he's just that guy.
Yeah.
Joel's a great guy, he is.
Yeah.
And he was trying to fix everything, but I didn't see that I could have it fixed. And the only thing that I probably regret from the whole show is how I left. I told Joel, I said, hey, if he's not coming back, I'm gone. And of course, Joel wanted to hold the team together, and he's like, no, we can work this out, but my mind was made up. I was going, and I kind of waited, Joel was doing something, and I think Dawn had came up to talk to you guys.
Talk?
Yeah, well, I mean, before I
Oh,
left.
yeah, no. She came over very cordial.
So,
No, you dirty, crooked bastard.
oh, that's, but wait, before that, Dawn,
Everything is gone. And I'm like,
wait,
Wait, guys, before
Wait.
that, she came up
Yeah,
before
wait.
Paul even came over.
She was like yelling at you guys, and I was like, we told you we were gonna play a fair fight. Do not come up here yelling. You need to relax.
I think they're past it.
yeah, but back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit. So I'm getting to where I left, and Dawn had said, "Hey, I'm going to go talk to Beartooth and see if there's a place for us because now we're down 3 people, and see if we can work something out." And I knew I was leaving. So as soon as Joel was doing something, Dawn was doing something, and I just grabbed my gear, and I grabbed the crab traps.
Yeah.
And I left, and I went through the forest, and I left, and I was back there hearing some of her conversation, and I won't say much about it. Hopefully it'll come out in the show, but I heard the conversation, and when she walked out, and then she left, and I stepped out of the woods, and I had 3 huge smiles.
Oh yeah, we saw you as she was talking to us.
Oh, could y'all see me back there?
Yeah, we saw you. You were talking to one of the producers or something. And we saw it. Like I think you were doing like a small interview or something. So we see you back there, and we're like, oh. So we all grin. Like we're like, oh, he's here.
Yeah.
He's part of Beartooth now.
So when I walked out, the first thing hugs all around,
Yeah.
and immediately
Yeah, we're huggers on Beartooth.
you guys could have done whatever you wanted to. You could have totally set me out, hung me out to dry because immediately my guard was gone. It's the first time that the first week my guard wasn't, and I kind of had a guard up.
Yeah.
And at that very moment when Seth said, "Hey, I got half of your bed made," it was only 4 feet long. I think he made it for himself.
Look, we're short, proud people on Beartooth. You came over and ruined that.
But
We were preparing for you to come. We were like, we need to make sure you have a space. 'Cause
I was like,
Beartooth, you are family. Like that is our goal. We're all there for each other. Yeah.
I felt
we gave the Beartooth, so that was like that was the symbol of coming on over.
I felt that from that moment on. Like my guard was down from that moment on. You guys could have done whatever you wanted to me, and I was there to have that done to me. Like I felt like family right away.
Quick, guys, I don't mean to interject, but I do have to get off in 2 minutes. So I just want to say a couple things real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah.
First off, I just want to say, absolutely love you guys, man. I wouldn't
Love
do
you, Angie.
Love you, Angie.
anything that I did out there without learning so much from all three of you. You know, where Paul was helping me, you know, hone up on my bow skills. Seth was teaching me a lot about how to cut the wood properly, and then Nick was just giving me a lot of strength. And going back to those cold nights when I came back from my knee injury, I was freezing and I couldn't stop shaking. And you know, I was sandwiched between Seth and Paul. I'll start with Nick. And Nick was holding me tight because I could not stop shaking. And I was like, what are the signs of hypothermia? Like, how long is it going to take to get out here? And I told Nick one night, I was like, hey, this is like one of the first nights that we were without a fire. And I was like, Nick, it's going to be dark. And I'm going to freak out. And I need you to be there for me. And Nick was like, I got you. And I woke up and I was like, Nick, I can't see my hand. And
then you kept asking how you're like, all right, I'm gonna touch him like it's okay, and you're like, don't worry, like I'm like it's okay, go ahead, you know, I'm not weirded out by it. As long as you're good, I'm good. Like,
dude, I had my feet tucked under y'all's body. Warm.
Oh.
I love you guys so much, and everything out there was just a huge learning experience, and it was absolutely amazing. And if I could do it all over again, I would with you guys. I wouldn't choose anybody else.
no way.
Like I said, you guys were freaking awesome. 3 little dinosaurs, all the way.
3 little dinosaurs.
Always.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Real quick, I do want to say 2 more things.
Yeah.
Nick, bro, there were some times that I could not stand you. I was rolling my eyes so much at the camera, and I was like, he talking out of his ass. But I love you. And then, Seth, I felt like I really created we had a very strong bond together, how I feel. And I appreciate all the talks that we had, Seth, because it's, you know, there was a moment that we were standing out there staring at the mountains, watching this owl just silently look for food. It was so quiet and peaceful, and you know, we had a lot of really good personal talks. And you know, I'm gay as well.
No.
I have a special love for you, Seth.
I love you too, Angie.
Yeah. So Angie, I think I can say it for us all that we all love you, and we're better people for having you in our life for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And you got to know that everything we done after you left, you were a driving force behind that. You were part of that, and it continues to today. Everything that we do, we always want you to be part of that, and your family, and anything that you ever need, we're here for you. And we love you.
Absolutely.
I love you guys so much.
All right, Angie, take care. Have a good time tonight. 3 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know if you're gonna be. You said you'll be.
It's midnight Eastern time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm going to be awake, so if anybody wants to call,
We're up.
Yeah.
FaceTime, I will be there.
Oh, we'll be watching. I can't wait to see who wins.
Oh, yeah. I think we know.
I cannot wait to see the amazing winning team.
All right, girl. Well, look, have a good time tonight, and we thank you for being on the show, and look forward to talking to you again, Angie.
Yeah, anytime y'all want me on, let me know, and I'll be there.
Love you.
Perfect. Love you, Angie.
All right, love you guys.
Bye.